Happy Monday, everybody. Long night, interesting night. And I'm going to speak for myself. I've seen enough. I've seen all I need to see. I like this bench. I like these young players. I like how they're all playing like they don't want to go to the G League. They are hooping like they don't want to see a minute on the G League court. They want to play on the main stage. I want to see what they can do as a collective in some real live action. Let's get the season underway. I'm trying to kill time to get to the real. There ain't no real conversations to be had until it's live action. I want to see what these dudes do as they gain real NBA experience. Because I like the work I'm seeing. You know what I mean? They got heart as a collective. They keep working as a collective, and it's a framework for something special. And that's enough for me to watch every game. I know what I'm gonna get from Scotty, RJ, Jacoperto, Grady. I know what I'm gonna get from them. The starters and the core group, I trust them. But the supporting cast is where we had the biggest questions. And now we're getting some of those questions answered. It's starting to form. You know what I mean? It's one game at a time, one step at a time. You know what I mean? But I like the pattern of production that I'm seeing so far. I like the direction they're being coached into. I don't mind the mistakes. I expect them. I don't mind the losses. I expect those too. But I expect us to have some really good times. More good times than we had last year. This year for me is just our separating ourselves from what was last year. Because people are still looking at us as if we're that team in that mode. Nah, that was last year. We were rebuilding in the middle of the season. Now we're taking that step forward to separate ourselves from what used to be into something a little more concrete and a little more sturdy. I like the progress that we're making. And every game, like these first three games, I'm loving what I see. Despite the loss, I like the work. I love the work I saw. Boston is Boston at this point. Like Boston is Boston. What can we say? 8 years in the making. They didn't wake up one day and then become the Boston Celtics that we see today. It took 7, 8 years. They had their setbacks with Isaiah. They had their setbacks with Kyrie. They had their setbacks all throughout the time that they got to this point. They deserved that championship. They won that championship. It is what it is. I just didn't want it to be a thing where people start to adopt, we're going to shoot 50% of our shots as threes as a lifestyle. Even though we're going to see record number of threes shot by teams, I just don't want to see that as a common thing night in and night out in the NBA. But if that's their identity, cool. I can live with one team being that, but if it's going to be everybody, it would annoy me to no end. But if it's the Celtics style of play and everybody's allowing them to have that style of play and to flourish in that style of play, so be it. I can't say anything. I don't like Boston, but I got to respect the champion. You got to respect when they got the ring. But I don't care too much about that. I'm still going to throw them under the bus every chance I get. It is what it is. Nothing changes. But right now, they're in pocket. And this is something that we can look forward to with our young team. Getting in pocket. Getting in that space where the system is set, the process is set. You can plug and play anybody into the system and it works. Brad Stevens is a magnificent coach. He was when he was at Butler. He is now when he was with Boston. And he's good in the front office. This is all his system. Let's not make it seem like it's Mazzulla's. It's Brad Stevens' system. Of course, Mazzulla added something to it, but the reality is that system, you can plug anybody from the NBA into their system and they will conform and become their approximation of a Celtic player and give the best that they can give. We put that work in, though. We proved that you can't just put whoever you want in. There's a certain grade of performer that we'll accept as, okay, all right, they got us. But when you start putting in just any old body, yeah, all right, keep playing. You better ask the Wizards. Ain't nobody playing. You try to put just anybody in, we just want them to gain some experience. They ass gonna get smoked. You better put in the best of the best, or at least your second tier best group. Because these group of young men that we got coming off the bench, you gotta beat them. You gotta be, ain't none of that, yo. You got the name, you got the prestige. You gotta beat us. Because when they get on the court, they coming to work. Whether it's a lead or a deficit they got to chop down, they're coming to work. The bench yesterday, 62 points, 22 rebounds, 18 assists as a collective. And everyone is like, yo, but it's the preseason. Listen to me. If we can get Giannis numbers, which is 32 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists from a collective group of people off the bench, we are putting our starters in such a comfortable space. So because now all of the weight isn't on their shoulders. Like I said before, I don't want all the weight to be on Scotty. I don't want the weight to be all on RJ or Quickly. We're a team. We win as a team. We lose as a team. We compete as a team. Very important. And this second unit that's forming and coming together is very important to that system. And I love what Darko is doing and what that coaching staff is doing. We're seeing a pattern of progress. That's all you can ask for. When you want to be a part of something and you're watching something and you're supporting something, you want to see progress being made. No matter the setbacks, no matter the losses, no matter the wins, you want to continue to see progress, because as long as you keep making progress, you're going to always be closer and closer to accomplishing the ultimate goal. Our ultimate goal is another championship. And we're going to gradually, one game at a time, get there. And it's going to take a year, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it takes. But the process starts now. We don't have time to try to figure out who's going to fit. We got a group of guys right now that want to be a part of this team. They want to be a part of the traveling. They want to be a part of the practices. They want to be a part of the competing. They don't want to be in the G League. They want to play with the main team. They want to fly with the main team. They want to practice with the main team. They want to be a part of the process in the NBA. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to decide who goes to the G League, because all of them want to play on the main stage. We're going to have a tough G League team too. But when you got a bench that's producing 50, 60 points, 20, 30 rebounds, 15, 16 assists in the preseason, it's going to be hard to decide who can't stay, because everybody's going to have a role and everybody wants to be a part of it and deserves the right to be a part of it. I like these problems, because a lot of these teams don't have a legit bench that's committed to being bench players. Everybody wants to be a star. And in their world, they're superstars. Around their friends, around their family, they're the stars. Then when they come to the NBA, not so much. So it hits the ego different. We got guys who don't mind working from where they are to get to where they want to be. Wherever that means. Whatever that means and wherever that's at. They're working. They're not worrying about the future. They're worried about, let's work right now. And to get young guys focused on the work, it's very difficult to do. It's not easy to have a bunch of guys aware of where they are and understand that this is important. Just as important as starting the game is being a part of the game throughout the game. Yeah, the starters get all the praise and they're going to get paid more, but they need support. And a lot of guys don't have the ability to push their ego to the side to support the stars and accept that this is my role right now and I got to give it all I got to get that other opportunity. We're creating some great habits. And despite the fact that we didn't really execute as far as scoring is concerned and shooting is concerned against the Wizards the last game, we were still working. We still had impressive numbers despite the fact we couldn't hit shots. Last night, I was a little annoyed because the Celtics jumped out early, which I knew they were going to do. That's everybody's MO. They're going to jump out early. They're going to try and establish themselves as some type of leverage in the first quarter and then try and fight us off with three-point shooting. That's it. That's all they're going to do. They're going to try and fight us off with three-point shooting. That's it. But if we got a bench that can produce at an all-star level, putting up those type of numbers as far as production, and our starting five doing what they got to do, it's going to be tough to beat us. That lead means nothing because your second unit is going to have to hold that down. And your starters are going to have to put in more work. And it's going to be a serious affair. You can't just put anybody in. They're going to get destroyed. That's the thing I like. I'm going to watch for who bench you put in. Who you going to put in off this bench to deal with our guys. Because there's a tone there. There's an attitude there. There's a belief there. There's an aggression there. You could try to put whoever you want on there, but if they're not a certain caliber, they're going to get smoked. If they're not coming to perform, they're going to get smoked. If they got something going on in their life and they not focused on the moment, they're going to get smoked. And look it, we watched these guys just attack the basket nonstop. We were way too conservative in the first half. And of course, Boston jumped out early, 41-point lead. 55% of their shots were threes. We are aware of what they're going to do. They shot 95 shots and 53 of those were threes. And we work, and it's just a matter of not losing focus. That's who they are. We have to defend the three or keep up with them as far as three-point shooting is concerned. We cannot let them jump out too far. Because their system is, if we get a lead, make it a bigger lead with three-point shooting. And if we're down, chop at the lead with three-point shooting. They also rebound well. They don't run. There's no fast break. There's no running and gutting. It's very conservative because what they're doing, instead of a fast break, we'll just shoot more threes in the half-court set. If half your shots are threes, you don't need to run up and down the court and fast break. You can cruise. And that three-point shot comes quick. So now you're going to accumulate more shots than your opponent. Or they're going to have to chase you because you're trying to hit 95 shots. Once they hit the 95 shot mark and you know that they're putting up 45 to 46 threes, they're going to hit a decent percentage of enough to put you in a deficit. Because that's where they want to bridge. That's where they want to build their gap. Like last night, they hit, 8 more threes than us? That's a 24-point cushion. You have to keep up with that early. You have to keep up with that often. And then your blue-collar work will be, accentuated a lot more. But if it's just something to keep you in the game, they're going to keep the pressure on you, and you're going to work hard just to catch up while they're simply playing a more passive, aggressive style of basketball. We put up some numbers. Like, despite the loss, 45 rebounds, 56 points in the paint, 30 assists, 24 fast break points. We've been getting at least 19 to 20 fast break points per game. The fact that we're getting out and running is great, but that's mostly from the second unit. Now, the first unit is going to have to start putting up a couple more threes and be a little more aggressive in the three-point shooting. Shout out to Grady Dick because he definitely was hitting shots last night. And we can't overlook, the performances, the last two performances by Chris Boucher. You know what I mean? I'm hearing some rumblings online. I haven't been on Twitter in a couple of days. I gotta my iPhone died, so now I gotta put everything on my Android. So I'm transferring. I'm trying to keep enough memory to do the videos, but I think I'm gonna link up my Twitter with the Android because I'm gonna have to. I got a Samsung. I love Samsung. I never was into iPhones. I don't like iPhones at all. I'm more of an Android type of guy, so I'll probably just get another Samsung after this one. But I've been out of the loops of Twitter, but I've been hearing some things about Chris Boucher going back and forth. But his last two performances were stellar. Last night's was Boston. They were a little more physical with him. So, but we also played a different style of basketball, attacking off the dribble, which isn't his strong suit. He's more of he like that passive aggressive 3-point shooting would be perfect. Don't be surprised if I'm not going to even say it. Don't be surprised if he ends up there in Boston. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if Chris Boucher ends up in Boston. I know a lot of y'all are like, no, it ain't going to happen. Do not be surprised because that style of play is perfect for him. Coming off the bench, shooting threes is perfect for him. He might like it. He might like it more. Less responsibility. And all he got to do is bust his gun and block a couple shots. You never know. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if we're not going to trade him there, but don't be surprised if he ends up going there and taking a pay cut. Don't be surprised because they had their eye on him before. You know what I mean? But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how all that plays out. But right now, he's a little frustrated. Y'all got my boy frustrated. Y'all got him a little frustrated. But yeah, I mean, when the writing is on the wall, you know how the fans are. It is what it is. I'm not indulging in it, but you know, it is what it is. But I'm excited about this bench. I'm my whole season is gonna revolve around me watching this bench and seeing how they evolve in the NBA ecosystem and see how they exist with the starting five and dominate whoever comes off the bench on these other teams. I know it's our first step. I know they don't have the experience to experience ecstasy as we want them, as much ecstasy as we want them to. They're not going to win as much as we want them to right now, but it's part of the process. I see where this could end up. I understand where this can end up. I understand what this could possibly be. I like it. I like it. I'm gonna be watching this bench because that's the most interesting thing to me. You know what I mean? Seeing how this bench supports this team and the way that they're fighting to stay out of the G League and not wear that 905 uniform is impressive because a lot of guys would kind of accept the fact that I got to go through the G League and take care of my responsibilities there and make my presence felt and then work my way back. These guys are working as if I don't even want to go. They're going to have to take me and send me kicking and screaming. I'm going to do everything I can to stay right where I'm at. I like the per diem. I like the hotels. I like all of it. I don't want to go. You going to have, I don't know. They out here hooping like they all want to stay as they should. But I'm looking forward to it. Tell me what you think in the comment section. I'm looking forward to seeing how this bench develops, man. Like I'm excited. You know what I mean? I found something to hang my hat on that I like this bench. And the bench play is what made me a Raptors fan. That's what brought me in watching the Raptors, watching Fred and Norm come off the bench. You know what I mean? Watching OG come off the bench, watching Chris come watching the bench is what made me, and I always kept my eye on the Raptors, even when I wasn't doing videos on them. I was still trying to figure out what I wanted to do. But, you know, God, thank them for having a bubble. That's the only thing that came out of the bubble that was positive. That bubble experience, that shit was heartbreaking. And then to watch the Lakers win it, and we not even care. That's another thing about the NBA now. I wanted to talk about this. I might as well do it now. When David Stern was the commissioner, we cared more about the NBA champion than we do now. Like, we really don't care as much as we used to. Like, the Celtics just won the chip. Denver won the chip the year before. Nobody really cares. It doesn't, it's like you won the championship, but you don't get the perks of being a champion. You don't get the respect. You don't get, like, when guys won championships in the 80s and in the 90s, it was a movie. It felt like these are the champions. They were treated like champions. They were respected like champions in the media. They moved around like champions. There was an essence. And we as fans look forward to who's going to beat the champion. That's not a conversation this year. I believe in my heart of hearts that the Knicks are a better team. And people are like, yo, but the odds makers don't have them. Man, they're trying to get you to spend money, stupid. Of course they're going to make it the way they make it. They want you to spend money. They want you to bet. That's their job. The Knicks are a better team. But the champ is the champ. And until you beat the champ, I understand that concept. But I got the Knicks are a better team. The Knicks are, I'm telling you that right now. Because I remember when Detroit won them championships and when the Bulls were making that run, we knew the Bulls were better. even though Detroit came off of that repeat and they had just beat Portland. That next season, we knew the Bulls were the best team in the Eastern Conference. We knew it. Everybody knew it. That triangle was working. A lot of people don't understand the value of a system. That triangle won 16 championships. I'm going to leave that right there. The triangle offense alone won what? 15, 16 championships. That's crazy. So it's hard to give Phil Jackson, Kobe, Mike, all this credit. Tex winners. Doug Collins would have been the greatest coach ever, who, shout out to him for being inducted into the Hall of Fame. He didn't want to do the triangle. He just wanted to give Mike the ball. Remember, they went to the Eastern Conference Finals with Mike, and they lost. And they were telling him, yo, listen, try this. Listen, Tex was there. So was Phil. Yo, use this triangle. It'll work. Doug ain't want to use it. Phil got them to use it. Phil got them to buy into it. And look, if the system that Darko empowers the second unit to the point where they can put up first unit production, we're going to have some good times. We're going to be in some dope conversations. We're going to be a problem. And that's all I care about. Us becoming a problem again. We can't just be that team. You look at the schedule and be like, all right, we got them, take a night off, we got them. Nah, you can't take no night off. Because our second unit will smoke your second unit. Our starters are our starters. You know RJ going to give you the work. You know the work he going to put out. You know Quickly going to do what he do. And Scotty going to do what he do. Portal, Grady, they're going to do what they do. But the most important thing, that's second unit. If we're in a space where our second unit is just as good as anybody else's, we in business. And that's what I'm looking for this season. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Tell me what you're looking for. I like the personal accolades. Like I want to see RJ become an all-star, but he's only going to become an all-star if we're winning. And that winning is going to come from the supporting cast being potent. And if they're potent, we're going to be fine. We're going to, we make the playoffs. We get into playoff mode. We win. I think we could win. I'm gonna be honest, and I'm gonna sound crazy. I believe we can win 42 games. I got us winning 42 games. And a lot of people are like, no, I got us winning 42 games. If it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. But I don't see us winning fucking 27, 28. That's bullshit. We're better than that. And we're better than the playing team. We're better than being a playing team. Like we there's something moving. There's something evolving. There's something moving. And I believe we're going to capitalize off of this bench production. Of course, they're going to make mistakes. But everybody's not Boston. Everybody is not going to shoot lights out in the fourth quarter like Washington did. That Washington game, I didn't even want to talk about it because it wasn't worth talking about. It was a game, and we shot like shit that whole game. But it was a game up until, 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter? We were in it. We could have made it more difficult, but it is what it is. We took our foot off the gas, let guys gain experience, and they lit us up. Guys made mistakes. That happens. But that's okay. We're going to learn. And the way the rules are set up defensively, there's going to be a three-point shot open. It has to be. That's what the business is predicated on. That's what's entertaining. The skinnier, more skilled players being catered to because they bring in the bucks, they're entertaining, and three-point shooting is entertaining. So the rules are set up, and they were set up during that Golden State run to make sure that three-point shooting gets its light on the court. It has to be a part of the game. Because in the 90s, that shit was, you might have one guy shooting threes. And it wasn't that everybody didn't want to shoot. Everybody wanted to shoot three. Everybody wanted that. But it just was, you can be a little more physical so you can stay with your man a little longer. Now you can't hand check. The man makes the move first. You got to let him go by or you block. It's a blocking foul. You got to be facing the ball and moving towards the ball, which creates a skip pass to the other side. It's to the point where I know where the three-point shot is going to come from. We all know that. Where it's going to end up. We know where the ball is going to end up on every play. You know what I mean? But it's just a matter of, figuring out how to move between the lines. And some teams can and some teams are having trouble. Hopefully we can figure out how to compete within those lines and defend the three better, because a lot of teams are going to use that. They're going to weaponize the three-point shooting. There's only two things they're going to do to try to beat us. They're going to try and get a big first quarter lead, and they're going to try and protect the lead with three-point shooting. That's it. That's it. If we hit shots, that's all out the window. They're losing, no matter who it is. If we hit shots and we're doing the blue collar work, which is what we're seeing the bench do and our starters do, then you ain't gonna beat us. You just hoping we have a bad shooting night and you'll be off the hook, or else it's gonna be that work. I just don't want us to be a walk in the park. That's all. Tell me what you think in the comment section. I think we're gonna be fine. Hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. I'm out of here. Peace.